Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And give this video a like up. Y&R the Restless weekly spoilers see Kyle Abbott getting a rude awakening during the week of July 8 to 12, 2024. Meanwhile, someone's dreams come true, while another is racked with guilt on Y&R. Check out the newest spoilers for the CBS soap opera. This week on Y&R, Kyle Abbott gets drunk and goes off on his dad, Jack Abbott. He winds up spilling the beans that he's running Glissade and working for the enemy. Later, his ex-wife, Summer Newman, confronts him about moving out of the Abbott mansion. Summer is furious that he didn't tell her. She had to hear it from his mother. She tells Kyle that if he thinks he's going to take their son away, he is delusional. She already wants to revisit their custody agreement on Y&R the Restless. Plus, she's getting her lawyers involved. So she might try to get full custody of Harrison Locke. Of course, she is not his biological mother. She's not even his adoptive mother. The chances that she would get sole custody are slim to none, unless she tries to prove that Kyle's unfit and Harrison is better off with her. No doubt, things are going to get ugly. While Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, is at war with his entire family, his new business partner, Audra Charles, Zalika Silver, couldn't be happier with her new position at Glissade. But Nate Hastings, seen Dominic, thinks it's a bad idea and calls her out on it. Soon, Audra may try to push Kyle out, especially if Nate gets in her head. Meanwhile, Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, clash. They disagree on the best way to help their daughter, Summer Newman, Allison Lanier. Elsewhere, on Y&R the Restless, Victor Newman, Eric Braden, antagonizes Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman. Then he tells his granddaughter, Claire Grace Howard, Haley Aaron, that Kyle is bad news. Later, Claire has a hard time with her family. Meanwhile, on Y&R, Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, drowns in guilt over his role in the hay with his ex, Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan. No doubt, he feels horrible for stepping out on his girlfriend, Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope. And this week, Chelsea makes him feel even worse when she guilt-trips him. Then, she establishes boundaries with someone, most likely Adam. No doubt, that's a good thing because it will stop them from making the same mistake again. Later, Victor assigns Adam a new task at Newman Media. Meanwhile, Sally attempts to make things right with Summer. Elsewhere, Sharon Newman's Sharon case past haunts her. Plus, Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziadei, makes a big decision about his life. Also, on Y&R the Restless, Devin Hamilton, Brayton James, teams up with Nate against Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, and Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, takes a giant risk. In addition, Danny Romalotti, Michael Damian, and Christine Blair Williams, Laura Lee Bell, surprise Tracy Abbott, Beth Maitland, in Paris. Y&R is sizzling this summer. Don't miss a minute to see if Kyle Abbott self-destructs on the CBS daytime drama. This week on the Y&R the Restless, Kyle Abbott finds himself dealing with an unexpected and brutal wake-up call. Just when he thought he was in control of his life and his decisions, reality comes crashing down, forcing him to reevaluate everything. The consequences of his actions are finally catching up to him, and it's clear that he won't be able to charm his way out of this one. For months, Kyle has been making bold moves, both in his professional and personal life. He's been trying to reclaim his position at Djibouti, while also navigating the tricky waters of his relationships. Whether it's his ex, Summer Newman, or his new flame, Audra Charles, Kyle has been living life on his own terms, until now. This week, someone very close to him delivers a harsh reality check, making him question whether his reckless decisions have finally come back to bite him. One of the biggest confrontations Kyle faces this week is with none other than Summer. The former golden couple has had their fair share of ups and downs, But this time, Summer isn't holding back. She's tired of Kyle's entitlement, his inability to take responsibility, and the way he assumes that everything will go his way. Summer makes it clear that she is done playing nice. She has been through too much heartache because of Kyle's choices, and she refuses to let him waltz back into her life without acknowledging the damage he has done. In a heated moment, she slaps him with the truth, both figuratively and literally. Kyle is left stunned, realizing that his usual charm and apologies won't fix this one. As if Summer's confrontation wasn't enough, Kyle also finds himself at odds with his father, Jack Abbott, and his stepmother, Diane Jenkins. Jack has always had Kyle's back, but even he is starting to grow weary of his son's behavior. Diane, who has been making an effort to solidify her place in the Abbott family, doesn't shy away from giving Kyle some blunt advice. Jack and Diane sit Kyle down for a tough love conversation, making it clear that his reckless actions could jeopardize more than just his personal relationships. They warn him that if he doesn't straighten out his priorities, he could lose his place at Jabot permanently. This is a turning point for Kyle, as he starts to realize that his actions have lasting consequences. Meanwhile, Kyle's relationship with Audra is not as solid as he believed. This week, Audra's true colors start to show, leaving Kyle questioning whether she ever really cared about him, or if he was just a pawn in her game. When Kyle overhears a conversation between Audra and Tucker McCall, he begins to see just how deep their alliance runs. Has Audra been using him all along to further her own plans? Kyle is left feeling betrayed, but he also knows that he put himself in this position. He jumped into a relationship with Audra without thinking about the consequences, and now he might be paying the price. If there's one thing Kyle hates, it's being played, and this time, he might have been outmaneuvered. If Kyle thought his week couldn't get any worse, he was wrong. Phyllis Summers, always one to have a sharp tongue and an even sharper sense of justice, takes the opportunity to drive the point home. She lets Kyle know that he's not the victim here, no matter how much he wants to believe it. Phyllis makes it clear that he needs to stop blaming others for his problems and start owning up to his mistakes. Kyle may not want to hear it, but Phyllis is absolutely right. He has burned bridges, taken people for granted, and now he's dealing with the fallout. The question is, will he finally learn his lesson, or will he continue down the same destructive path? As the week comes to a close, Kyle is left at a crossroads. Will he take these harsh truths and use them as motivation to change? Or will he dig himself deeper into the mess he's created? One thing is for sure, Kyle Abbott is in for one of the biggest wake-up calls of his life, and it's about time he starts facing the consequences. Stay tuned to The Young and the Restless to see how Kyle handles his reality check. Will he rise from the ashes, or will he continue to fall? Kyle Abbott has spent most of his life feeling invincible, coasting on his charm, wealth, and undeniable Abbott legacy. But in the upcoming week on The Young and the Restless, Kyle is about to be hit with a stark reality check, one that will shake the very foundation of his world. For months, Kyle has been acting as though his actions have no consequences. Whether it was his failed marriage to Summer, his involvement with Audra, or his persistent belief that he can juggle business and personal affairs without repercussions, he has danced through life with a level of arrogance that's finally catching up to him. This week, expect to see Kyle blindsided when a series of events unravel, forcing him to face the truth about himself. At Jabot, his father, Jack Abbott, has been growing increasingly frustrated with Kyle's reckless decisions. While Kyle believes he is destined to lead the company, Jack is starting to question whether his son has what it takes to be a true Abbott leader. When Kyle makes a bold business move without consulting Jack, thinking he knows best, the backlash is swift and brutal. Jack doesn't hold back, delivering a scathing reality check that leaves Kyle stunned. The tension between father and son is at an all-time high, and it's clear that Kyle will have to prove himself in ways he never imagined. On the personal front, Kyle's world is equally tumultuous. His dalliance with Audra Charles seemed thrilling at first, a way to move on from Summer and reclaim control of his love life. But what Kyle failed to realize was that Audra plays the game even better than he does. This week, he gets a shocking wake-up call when he discovers that Audra has been keeping secrets from him, and her true intentions may not be as innocent as he assumed. The betrayal stings, but more than that, it forces Kyle to confront his own pattern of self-sabotage. Has he been so blinded by the need to prove himself that he's been falling for the wrong women all along? Meanwhile, Summer Newman has been thriving in his absence. She's focused on her career, spending time with Harrison, and making moves that solidify her independence. When Kyle sees how well Summer is doing without him, it stings. But the real gut punch comes when Summer delivers a sharp, unfiltered truth bomb. One that forces Kyle to admit that his own choices have led him to this moment of reckoning. The conversation is raw, emotional, and exactly what he needs to hear. As the week progresses, Kyle finds himself at a crossroads. Everything he once thought was secure, his place at Jebut, his love life, and his role as a father, is suddenly in jeopardy. He has two choices: continue down his reckless path or take responsibility and make a real change. In a rare moment of self-awareness, Kyle starts to realize that he has been his own worst enemy. But will he actually do something about it? Or will he allow his pride to lead him further into chaos? The upcoming episodes promise intense drama, heartfelt confrontations, and a version of Kyle that fans haven't seen in a long time. The stakes are high, and this week will be a defining moment for him. Will he rise to the occasion, or will he fall further from grace?